Yes, so welcome everyone to today's meeting. Thanks for everyone who made it today and to those online. And also to those that might see it at a later stage. So this is our introductory session on demystifying responsible computing. And it's really an introduction to a new seminar series that we launched. And we'll go about some basic concept with regards to responsible computing. And we'll talk a little bit about future directions, and I'll talk also a little bit about the seminar series. So one of the first questions that popped up when we were planning this series, so why responsible computing? And responsible computing is a very prevalent issue. I think today we've seen vast developments in technologies like AI, cloud computing, and also blockchain technology, just as a few examples. And it's really kind of the speed of the digitalization which brought about this issue of responsible computing. We are developing really fast. Technology comes to the new products emerge every day, and sometimes they are not entirely faultless. Which kind of brings up the issue of responsible computing. So just to give you a few examples, there was a chatbot a few years ago called Tay, developed by Microsoft, and the problem with the chatbot is that, well, it was launched on Twitter. There was some kind of basic error in it, and within a few hours of being on the site, the chatbot then started to learn from its interaction with the users of X. And it led to it kind of learning from them, and not all of what it learned was really kind of appropriate content. So within a few hours, he became quite racist, and stayed that way. So it was really trained by the users, and you can see in the example there are a few examples where it's kind of turned into a Holocaust denier. And what really here was the issue that the company. They developed this technology, and they kind of just put it out there into the public and just wanted to see what happens. In this case, except for these tweets, there was not much damage done. But it is really an example of new technologies developed, and sometimes we don't really fully understand. And despite all that, we're launching it into the public. There are plenty of other examples. I think one that's very prominent today is also social media. Some sometimes describe it as the biggest public experiment in the world. It was developed in the early 2000s, and Meta or Facebook really brought on this new technology onto society without really knowing what might be the further implications of this. So we have lots of incidents where social media played a role in kind of harm. I have here a few examples on the screen. So very famous example is, for instance, January 6th, where this kind of let's call them extremists, coordinated, gathered online and planned an attack on the Capitol. I think we have all heard about this, and social media, and in particular, Facebook played an integral role in how this all unfolded. There are other really harrowing examples. We have Facebook being accused as, fueling hate in Myanmar, where it actually led to deaths, because the algorithm would kind of just, spread hateful narratives that people in there picked up, and then started murdering each other. And again and again, social media plays this role in amplifying this hate. And when social media was launched, or when people were coding these different algorithms, I don't think that they had any kind of bad intentions or anything bad in mind. It is just that the technology is really so complex that we have nowadays. It's going out into the public, and no one could imagine how this builds a life on its own and starts to develop this kind of negative consequences that we have there. There are countless examples of this. Other prominent examples that I've just heard today, there was a case in Sydney as well, where a teenager attacked someone in a church, so the priest, with a knife. And just today I read that this person apparently radicalized online. And so again, radicalizing on social media, it is not something that was that social media intended to do, but it's just some of the side consequences of this technology, really. Or other cases where people watch Instagram, look at their feed every day, and then it has an impact on their mental health, and then they might end up in suicide. Different technologies. I think there was a case a couple of years ago where someone was trading online with an app, and there was a bug in the software, and it showed this person a debt of $1 million, and this person just thought, I'll never be able to pay this back, and then also killed themselves, really as a response to a bug in a piece of software. And so this brings us a little bit to the theme of responsible technologies. These technologies are put out there, and sometimes we are not really clear of what impact there might be. I think AI is now really at the forefront. When you look up responsible computing, you often see terms like responsible AI as the kind of new breakthrough technology, or at least in a stage of breakthrough where it comes up to the public. And a lot of people are, also worried about the implications of this technology. What will it do to my job? How will it impact my life? And we already, I think it's about a year or two ago when we had the first kind of ChatGPT and people started working with it. And there are already a few incidents where AI also had some kind of, we can call them hiccups, or I think they're called hallucinations, where just, wrong facts are presented to people, and this can have broader implications. So these were just a few examples, but there are countless of examples where this is an issue. And so then the question is then really, what is responsible computing? So if you look into it, you always, or you come up with key stakeholders that are really involved in this being responsible. So we always have the people involved. These are the individuals. These are people like you that are maybe just a user, so that they are also maybe developing technology. But it's really the individuals that are involved in it. We have big corporations that develop technology, that put it out there. And then we also have more public institutions or governments that are also involved in shaping really this responsible computing concept, or which are involved in this. And what responsible computing then really means is going a little bit beyond the legal minimum. So I'm sure a lot of technology that is brought into the public, it kind of, people also had security in mind, and then they did their best to kind of comply with all the rules and regulation. But due to the complexity, still mistakes happen. And so this is kind of an initiative, if you want, where the developers, individuals, and the government they go beyond the legal minimum to really think of how can we develop technology responsibly, thinking about the implications and the ethical questions that arise when releasing software. When we look into industry, I think one of the forerunners of this movement as well is IBM. Here they developed this responsible computing framework. And what they really did is, it was triggered really by conversations with CTOs that they had. So kind of from a business perspective, where these CTOs, they are in charge of big organizations, technology, and technology that maybe millions of people are using every day. And they saw that there are a few ethical problems here that they have that don't make them sleep at night, right? So they think about their data, data breaches, hacks. What happens if I'm a big bank and all my financial data is hacked and put out to the public? A lot of other issues, also the sustainability impact. So I have this big firm technology developing things, but what are the implications on the environment of this technology? And so IBM proposed this framework for the industry, really, and maybe helping organizations to think in these terms and thinking about the broader consequences of their work. And so this is then the organizational perspective in a way. So what is my business doing, and how does it impact us all here, the world, and what can I do to do it more responsibly? Then in the last few years, maybe also fueled by this AI trend, that the regulators started to look into different ways of how they can manage these situations. I think social media is also still at the forefront of this. We are looking at different companies. Are they media companies or are they not? What kind of rules should apply to them? How responsible are they for the content that they are really amplifying? And then in terms of AI, we're thinking about, so you can also develop this technology for bad purposes. You can kind of develop weapons. So what if weapons are developed and we are not thinking about the broader consequences when AI starts to target maybe the wrong people, or suggests to people to target the wrong people? So this can have deadly consequences. It's also kind of fueled again the discussion a little bit by the conflict that we see in Gaza and Israel, where AI is kind of very prominent, or one of the tools that being used, and also used to target specific individual. And so what if it goes wrong, right? So this is all the conversation that we're having here. And so here again, the three stakeholders that we have. So we have, based on some research of Trier, we have the societal digital responsibility. So it's the broader society, the personal, so every individual, and then the corporate in this. And I think these are all these three people make up this entire topic. But we can bring it into a little bit kind of a larger framework. And so was for me, when I'm thinking about what is actually responsible computing, it is, if you look at all these parts, you have these different stakeholders, you have different themes or implications. So we have the impact on, for instance, the environment, so sustainability, data privacy, as I mentioned earlier, then also algorithmic fairness maybe, and the accountability of social media companies, and then also in a way transparency, if you think about AI systems that are used to in the government sector, maybe to allocate funds for healthcare or the schooling system. So how do these algorithms decide why someone might get something and someone might not? And digital responsibility or responsible computing is really taking all these kind of individual pieces, these individual questions and issues and stakeholder, and putting them all together into one larger picture, really, and see what is the interplay between all these different parts. So because the research has already looked at all the parts individually, but not so much in the bigger scheme. And so this brings us then to the outlook. So where do we go really from here? So what is this series maybe about, and also where's the research taking us? So as I just said, it's all about connecting these issues. So not just like looking at them separate, but connecting them and looking at the bigger picture, which also then makes it almost natural that responsible computing is not only a computer science topic or information systems. It has implications, and you can work with a lot of different disciplines to kind of really make a holistic view of this issue. So if you think about something like sustainability, right? You can work with people that are working really on sustainability issues and on the environment, healthier living, and so on, and then see because of technology's role in today's world, how does it work together, and to really see the bigger picture here. So I picked out a few examples that I want to kind of use to illustrate it, that I picked out from the literature. And sustainability, I think it's one of the chief concerns that we are facing right now, and it also makes its way into responsible computing. So obviously, a very important topic, right? Global warming and the change that we're seeing here with floods around the world. And, what role does technology really play in here? And so if you think about a specific technology, for instance, blockchain, with the issue with cryptocurrency, very, very chief among these issues that people bring forward is always the kind of the footprint of this technology on the environment. It uses a lot of energy. This blockchain technology uses a lot of energy, and this has then obviously negative consequences for the world. And so you might question, so do we really need this technology then if it has such a bad impact on the world? And, should we think twice about using this technology? But on the other hand, you can use the same technology for improving the world a little bit. So here we have a study from IBM, which then looked at blockchain technology and looked at how blockchain technology could be used to reduce food spoilage, right? So we're working towards more efficient and then efficient kind of supply chain. And then we find that this has actually a net positive impact on society. So this is then a more maybe responsible use of this technology, or at least people thought about the consequences of putting out this technology. And another example or another theme that I picked out, accountability. We had these examples earlier of social media's role in genocides and in the amplification of hate, or also in individual cases where people kill themselves because of the exposure to social media. And so who is then really responsible if this technology, social media, is actually amplifying this hate and it leads to deadly consequences? Also in the case of extremism, we had Mark Zuckerberg in front of the Senate explaining to the people, what does your technology actually do? And so it is really a question about accountability. Is social media then really responsible for these things, or is it more like how they say that, well, they put out a product and what people basically do with it is up to the people? So do they have a certain responsibility in making their product safe, or is the responsibility more on the individual? And I think from a responsible computing stance, it's a little bit of both. So if you think about the stakeholders, you kind of need to go into a space where the stakeholders are talking to each other. You can have a participative approach where people also involved. I think when you think about the ethics board that Meta involves now, this is a little bit of involving the public and the society in making these kind of content moderation decisions. And so this is I think the direction that we're going to. All right, and then we have also maybe a beneficial side of social media, right? So it helps to connect a lot of people across the world, and so we can also think about social media making it maybe a safe place of helping the society really connect. All right, and these were just a few issues that I picked out to kind of illustrate what responsible computing is all about, or could be all about, and maybe some future directions in which we might take this topic. And so yeah, this was just an introduction then to the series, but as you can see here, we have planned a few more lectures on it. So this is for just this first year here, or the semester until the spring. We have 2 more other interesting conversations coming up. We're still confirming a few of the speakers, and then we'll also take it into the next semester, where we'll have already a few more guest speakers. We're also planning on having some international speakers, and what we'll then do is really dissect this theme of responsible computing and looking at different research projects, different themes that all make up this responsible computing research direction. And so stay tuned for some updates. And yeah, we'll just have a quick Q&A session with those that are here today. And these are some of the references. So yes, thank you very much for being here, or for those that watch it in live or at a later time. And we will update you on some more, what's more to come. Thank you.